Let's speak now to the Deputy President of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Gladwin Malishe. Good evening, Mr. Malishe. I wonder if you could tell us what you know of what's happening at the Durban port at this moment and how much progress is being made in getting those systems back online.
Good evening, and good evening to the viewers. We are in communication with Transnet regarding the problem that they're having. It's a huge problem. It's affecting a lot of logistic companies, logistic chain. We are getting information that they have moved to manual. Things are slow, but they're trying to pick up the speed. It has actually created backlog using the manual because it's no longer the IT stuff. But they are acknowledging that there is a problem and they are actually fixing it. It is a problem to our economy. You know that we've been having a lot of lockdowns, and recently we've got the unrest that we actually had. So it is affecting our economy in a very bad state, and also our reputation to the international world.
What do you know of exactly what happened at Transnet? There's so many questions. We know that the acting minister in the presidency last week, Kumbudza Chabeni, said that they hadn't established any link between the cyber attack and the unrest. But what do you know about the details of the cyber attack and whether there is any possible link?
Well, we don't have information regarding to what actually happened. We are like the federation or the union that has actually called for a thorough investigation on the matter, because we really need to know what actually happened. And we really need to know, because in order for business to have confidence in Transnet, it is important for them to give us actually the actual results of their investigation as to what exactly happened. So we don't have that information. What we are pushing for and encouraging as a business community is for Transnet, SARS and the shipping lines to work together to make sure that when they were still using this manual system, we are able to get our product in and out of our port.
We heard reports yesterday that doing this manually is well nigh impossible, that it's going to cause major problems. Tell me how bad the backup is in Durban.
Well, it's bad. We are in a citrus season. We have grain that needs to be shipped out. So we were looking at a bumper season in any way for the trucks coming down. We were looking at how can we make the port more efficient, working together with Transnet. We never foresee this coming. And now we have this as an issue. It is a really big problem, because now it means that all this contract that we have, ships work on time. If you can't get your product in time, it means there's extra cost. If other ships are bypassing us to other countries, it means there's an extra cost to those containers that need to be brought back to our port city here. So it is a huge problem in many fronts, whether from the farmers who are growing the citrus or the grain, or those who are exporting goods such as like clothing and so on. It is affecting everyone. The long queues of the trucks, not knowing exactly what's going to be happening. The manual system, they are trying, but it is still very, very slow.
How much fresh produce has been lost so far? Are you able to quantify?
No, we're still waiting for the report. It's important for us to get the actual numbers to look at how much cost has this on our economy. And if I can add, from what we have been presenting from the unrest, it's going to be huge. And that the biggest problem on that is that our revenue collection from a government side, it means they won't be receiving the revenue they're expecting, which will actually go down to the service they need to offer to their communities. So we will be facing maybe next year service unrest from the communities, which will also give us a bad reputation in other countries. In fact, others will run away from investing in us, because it means that we'll be having all of this unrest due to the fact that our government won't be able to be giving the services they should be giving to the communities. So there are ripple effects on this. It's not just the port that is not working, but it's about the money that is not going to the revenue. It's about the people who are hired by this company, if they are no longer able to provide this work for their employees.
Do you have any ballpark of the kind of losses from the unrest and also from the cyber attack to Durban port?
So can you repeat that?
Do you have any ballpark figures on the kind of losses to Durban port after the unrest and now the cyber attack?
Not yet. We are trying not to push Transnet as hard in terms of getting that. What we are pushing them now is to make sure that their system is back on the line. So we are not trying to get that information at the moment because they are still trying to find the issue.
Fair enough. Have they told you when it's going to be back online, or they're not giving you any time at this point?
Well, we're in continuous communication with them, but we have not confirmation of that as yet.
That is very worrying. I know that during the height of the unrest, a Durban Chamber of Business was calling for a state of emergency in KwaZulu-Natal. That, of course, didn't come into effect ultimately. Now, with this force majeure and what's going on at the ports, do you think that state of emergency is something that needs to be discussed again? Do you think you need some sort of disaster relief, perhaps?
Well, if we can explain this thing, the reason why we call on for I'll put it, we called for the SANDF in order to support the police, because we never knew exactly what was happening. So the only thing that we knew was that business was really under attack. So we are trying to make sure that there is stability on the ground and that business can continue to work. So right now, as we are experiencing the cyber attack, we don't know whether there is link on that, but we don't want to get into those details and to try to think in that direction. All that we know is that our country is in a serious problem economically. We can't provide employment that is needed. Businesses are unable to do business the way they should be doing it. We have got lockdown, we've got the unrest, and so on and so forth. In all of these things, they're making it very hard to do business in our country. So what we're calling for now is a form of a meeting between government and business to sit down and discuss where are we taking this country in order for investors to have confidence in us. But if we are talking in different corners, we won't be giving the confidence that is needed by the investors who are local and also international.
You're absolutely right, and thank you so much for chatting to us this evening. That, of course, is Gladwin Malishe, Deputy President of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, telling us that Transnet has not yet given them an indication of when the port of Durban is going to be back online. They're trying to get those goods in and out manually. It is an absolute nightmare.